Okay, hello everyone. How are you? Today's topic is basically about three important areas in your life. And if you can manage these three areas, then yeah, you can say it's quite a good life because there's so many big questions in life that people are asking. So I will mainly focus on three. So one is your health, and the second one is your wealth, and the third one is of course your happiness. There's so many people want to know, yeah, I want to be happy, happy, happy. Okay, then we're gonna explain that today. So let me draw it for you. And number one here is the health. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see it very well. I'm just drawing it like this so you can see is the health. And then the other one is the wealth. I just put a little bit W here, and happiness I will just put in the middle or something like that, so that you can basically say, in order for you to be happy, you have to have your health, your wealth, and it all circle down in this happiness. So these are the three main areas in life that once you balance these ways, then I'll give you some pointers. The reason is because most of people like to chase this one, wealth. It's good, but then if you chase your wealth too much, then you might miss up your health. Maybe you do something that you burn out too much because you work like more than 12 hours a day. Some people say I work 18 or 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is 140 hours a week. That's a lot. So you have to balance it, because if you don't balance this lifetime, then you might kill yourself. And it's really true. Then you have burnout, and that's not good. Also, some people spend too much time on their health, exercise too much, then they don't build wealth. It's also not happiness. The people that say, okay, I want to only meditate, I'm going to sport, and it's also not good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now today is to explain to you these three top areas. The number one that people chase after is absolutely their health. As you can see, after the pandemic, many people, especially elderly, is focusing on how to get much more healthier. So let's focus on this area now. I'll give you some pointers that might help you. Number one is try to move consistently. So a regular exercise is very important. You can do it on your chair if you can. If you have to sit down and do your office work, like doing your neck work or your foot, or stand up every hour a little bit before you sit down again. Because if you really want to do the ultimate, that means you can also nourish your body. That's the second one. So prioritize what kind of thing you're going to eat. And most of people in this day and age, they're trying to only eat the vitamins. I would say just eat fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. It's better than the pills. But of course, sometimes if you live in other areas that doesn't have this kind of nutrition, then absolutely just take a supplement. That would be helpful. Number three is prioritize your sleep and recovery. Because the most important part is when you are burnout and your body is sick, and the body is the very important indicator that can tell you whether you're healthy or not. So please listen to your body. So if you sleep like 6 to 8 hours a day, that would be sufficient, especially when you're above 20 years old. But of course, if you are younger, then you have to prioritize at least 8 hours of sleep. Okay. The other thing is number four, prevent and proactively manage basically your checkups. So as you all know that if you do a regular checkup at the doctor, is much better. So annual checkup for your teeth is even some people do twice a year, biannual, so to check their teeth, which is good. But also do an annual checkup of your body, because then you can see if your cholesterol or maybe your blood sugar health, etc., if it's in between the interval. So please do that health check. Number five about health is be careful of if you can try to avoid harmful habits. So what I mean about that is you minimize or eliminate smoking, exercise, excessive alcohol, and also the drug use. And I always say that this is a very important part. The SAD, avoid it as much as you can. That means smoking. It's very bad for your lungs, by the way. And even though you see all the cigarette packs is already mentioning in it, and still some people still smoke it. We go to a different chapter, how you can break this habit of smoking. Okay, this is a very serious one because I have family members also who are really addicted to smoking, and this habit will help them. I'll teach you guys in a different section. So that's the S for smoking. The second one is the alcohol. If you can, please reduce your alcohol consumption slowly, because sometimes immediately stop will be very difficult. And the last one is drugs. Never use drugs. Absolutely not, because if you do that, then you can hurt yourself. In other countries where the drugs becomes legal, I think it's not so good also, because then people becomes more addicted, because once you do it, it becomes a habit and it becomes addiction. And marijuana or other kind of drugs, please don't use it. Even though people call it soft drugs, I don't care. Hard drugs or soft drugs, as long as drugs, don't use it, please, because it will damage your brain. Okay, so SAD, try to avoid it. Avoid your smoking, alcohol, and drugs. Okay, the second topic that I want to discuss is this one. It's called wealth. This is a big topic, but I have a different video about it. You can take a look. But I'll explain to you a few pointers of this one as well. So one of the things is, if you can spend less than you earn, budget, then you're amazing. Because as you can know, most of the people never track their income and outflow. We do that a lot of time in corporations. We call it the month-end reporting, or quarterly reporting, or annual reporting. But people forget that they have to do it for their own reporting. And that's how I highly recommend. I sometimes also do now a weekly reporting. But if it's too much, just do at least a monthly reporting. Because once you do that, then you can see how much money is coming in, how much is going out, and what your net is. It's very important. Because some people are asset rich, but then they forget that they have a lot of expenses as well. Number 2 is build an emergency fund, because most of us don't really realize that if you don't do that, things can happen to you. So let's say 3 to 6 months of your monthly salary, then you can see that once if you lose your job, or if a huge medical emergency, not particularly yours, by the way, sometimes it's a family member or a friend that you really care about and needs some medical emergency fund, and then you can help that person. Okay. Number 3 is manage and eliminate debt. I call it the bad debt because there are so many things that people don't understand, but I try to explain this one. So if it's high interest credit cards, please, if you can, I know some of the countries, they really make you addicted to credit card. Number 4 is also the invest consistently for the future, because most of us do have this kind of 401k in America or IRA, or in other countries you have the compulsory monthly investments. I will just say, if you can put it in the index fund, if you don't know investments, just put it in the index fund, because then at least you're okay. Some countries say, which index funds shall I put? It's up to you. For example, if you look at the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones index, or even some of your own country index fund is quite good, because they always selected the best companies in it. Okay, so that's why I think if you don't know investment, absolutely think about putting that in a regular basis. So make it as a habit, so that a part of your income will go to there directly. So let's say if you earn $1,000 per month, at least maybe 5 or 10% of it just go automatically deducted to the investment, so that you don't need to do it manually. Why is that? Because there is a wonderful book, I think it's called Automatic Auto Investment. I don't know, forgot. But anyway, just look it up. Then you're going to see that if you do it in a auto version, then you don't need to spend too much time on it, and it will be automatically being deducted and sent to it. All right. Number 5 is protect your assets. Yes, this is very important. The reason is because there's so many people and other things that we cannot control the risk, right? This is called protect your assets. It's basically risk management. So if you have insurance or anything that insurance that you can mitigate your financial risk, that would be great. That is life insurance, for example, because you never know if your partner or who else in the family can, have an accident. Then he or she is the major source of income, then you will have a big issue. So please buy life insurance also if if you're the main breadwinner in the house. Or maybe protect your house as well, fire insurance or liability insurance if something happened that you accidentally do outside. So then it's also very important to have a liability insurance. Okay. Last but not least, that is this H is for happiness. Happiness is very big because what makes you happy? Some people say a lot of money. What is a lot also, by the way? And health, but I will say it's up to you how you want to define your happiness. But overall, many people has these two in combined. It's a good health, good enough income to cover your monthly expenses, for example. So I'll give you a few pointers of the happiness. Of course, you can fill in the blanks. By the way, the one that I just mentioned to you are not exhaustive. You can just add other things in it. Number 1 for happiness is basically cultivating strong relationship. And so why we are humans, but humans are basically once is a social creature, so we want to socialize with people. So having good relationship either at work or at home is very good because you invest your time and energy in it, and it always takes time to make friends, as you know. And it also cultivate it, meaning that it's not because he or she is now you're living in a different country and then you say, we don't really drink and go out for fun anymore, so I don't need to contact that person. No, I have friends internationally, and the reason why is every time in a year, like if it's birthday, I just send them a reminder about happy birthday. Or maybe if it is their culture, if it is their holiday, then you just wish each other the best for their holidays. And it helps to cultivate your relationship, because it's good to have a strong relationship, because then you also understand how the purpose of life is basically to help each other. Okay. The second one is the second one now I already talked about it, is basically find the purpose or the meaning of your own life. That's why I said to you that if you have volunteer work, spiritually learning and contribute to a larger than yourself, you're much larger than yourself. So meaning that sometimes people think that they are not worth, which is not true, because you might be the hero for your kids. You might be the hero for your brother or your sisters or your cousins or your nephew or whoever. So please remember that you have a purpose, and your purpose is basically to help each other. Okay? And especially that's the whole idea about human society. Number 3 is practice gratitude and positive mindset. It's very important to regularly acknowledge that what you want to say thank you to. In my previous videos, I also mentioned that when you wake up in the morning, then always say one word, either in different language, but in English it's called gratitude. So say thank you, God or Allah or whatever you believe in. Thank you, mom and dad. Thank you, your partner, your husband, your wife, everyone, even your children also, and all the people that your colleagues also, because you need each other. Okay. Number 4, engage in enjoyment in the flow. So for example, you have your own hobbies and your own play. I have a good friend who also every year he definitely likes to cycle somewhere in a different country, and his wife doesn't mind to allow him for a week or two to go away, just himself. We call it here called the me time. So it's his own time to cycle and have fun somewhere else. So that's also good, because then you have this kind of bond about looking forward to do something. Okay. So it's very important to do that. And then last but not least is prioritize your self-compassion and acceptance. All in all, we always like to do things for other people. That's why when you ask a kid or anything, they always want to help another person, and still until this day. So, but don't forget about yourself. Like I said, you have to treat yourself also kindly. So if it is something that you always wanted to have, like maybe an iPhone that you never have, only an Android, and then you say, I'm gonna one day I want to buy my own iPhone or anything, then make sure that you also reward yourself, like making a goal out of it. Or maybe you want a beautiful EV car, a Tesla or anything, then also reward yourself. Or anything else that you think might be acceptance to you. It's very important. It's called self-love, right? Anyway, so these are the three big topics that many people were asking about, how to balance it. So try to balance it. It's not easy, of course. Sometimes if you spend too much time with your family, spend some time with your friends then, or if you spend too much time at work, spend some time at home. But be careful of one thing. This is what I want to also explain to you in the next video. So wherever you are, you have to be there. So what does it mean? A very simple analogy is, let's say if you're in the office, don't think about leisure. Don't think about, oh, I wish I want to bring my kids now to the beach. And you think about the beach, you know? And then when you're at the beach afternoon, oh, and then you're so happy, oh, I'm at the beach. And then you think about, oh, I need to submit some report to my client or to my boss, employer, by the way, not boss. And then you're somewhere else. That's not good. So wherever you are, be there. And there's a very powerful book by a great guy called Eckhart Tolle. He wrote The Power of Now. So wherever you are, you have to be there. I recommend you to read that book also, by the way. I don't get any royalties, but he's a very great man. Eckhart Tolle. He wrote the book The Power of Now. It's super important. Okay? Thank you so much. And if you have any other things that you want to see, just feel free to drop me a comment or email me. And let's go to the next video. I'll explain to you more about the concept about the yin yang and other stuff. Okay? Have a great day. Bye.